For 12 years, I built the perfect life. I gave my wife, Julia, everything she could ever want. A beautiful home, luxury cars, the kind of life most women could only dream of. I worked hard not just for myself but for us, because I loved her, because I thought we were partners. But now, sitting in the dim glow of my study, staring at a credit card statement filled with unexplained purchases, I realized something wasn't right. Asterisk Dior, Cartier, a $3,000 hotel charge. Asterisk. None of it made sense. Because Julia didn't have a job. Because every dollar spent came from me. And because, for the past few months, my wife had been acting like a stranger. At first, I blamed stress. My company was expanding, my workload had doubled. Maybe Julia just felt neglected. But then, the pattern started. The late nights. The mysterious phone calls she'd take in the other room. The new perfume, something musky, sensual, expensive. The way she would pull away when I touched her. The way she would come home late, freshly showered, avoiding my gaze. I told myself I was imagining things. That was my biggest mistake. Tonight, Julia was out again. With friends. At dinner. I should have been used to it by now, but something in my gut twisted. I sat at my desk, staring at her bank statements, my fingers tightening around the mouse. Click after click, transaction after transaction, expensive dinners, hotel stays, luxury boutiques. Then something caught my eye, a recurring charge. A luxury private club. $1,500 a month. Julia wasn't just going out with friends. She was living a secret life on my dime. And I was going to find out exactly what it was. I wasn't going to hire someone to tell me what I already suspected. I was going to do it myself. I opened my drawer, pulled out a small hidden camera, and placed it in the corner of our bedroom. Then I took another and installed it in the living room, facing the front door. Julia thought I was too trusting. She thought I was too busy to notice. But she had no idea that her perfect little illusion was about to shatter. At 2:14 a.m., I heard her keys jingle at the door. I sat in the darkness of my study, watching the monitor, my heart pounding. Julia walked in, barefoot, her expensive heels dangling from one hand. Her lipstick was smudged. Her hair was a mess. And as she walked through the living room, she pulled out her phone and typed something. I grabbed my own phone, waiting. A few seconds later, I heard a soft ding. I opened our shared cloud storage. A new photo had just uploaded. A photo Julia didn't know was being backed up. I clicked on it. And that's when I felt my world collapse. The photo loaded slowly. My breath caught somewhere between my lungs and throat. Then there she was. Julia. My wife. Lying on a bed in a hotel room. Half naked. Her silk dress bunched around her waist. Her lips were swollen, her skin flushed. She wasn't alone. A man's hand gripped her thigh. Large. Strong. Not mine. My stomach twisted, my vision blurred. The timestamp at the top of the screen read 1:47 a.m. Just 30 minutes ago. While I was here, waiting for her, she had been with him. And she had been so careless, so sure I would never find out, that she let her phone automatically back up the evidence. I felt a slow, cold rage creep into my veins. She had no idea that I was watching. No idea that the walls of her perfect lie were beginning to crumble. But soon, she was going to feel everything I was feeling right now. I should have confronted her right then and there. But I didn't. Because if there was one thing I knew about revenge, it was that patience always made the fall more devastating. I needed more. More than just a photo. More than just a suspicion. I needed the kind of proof that would leave her nowhere to run. And I knew exactly where to find it. Julia was asleep when I walked into our bedroom. I stood in the doorway watching her. She looked peaceful. Like a woman who had spent the night satiated. Like a woman who thought her husband was still blind. I moved to her nightstand, picking up her phone with steady hands. She always used Face ID to unlock it. That wouldn't work while she was sleeping. But I knew the passcode. She had given it to me months ago, never thinking I would have a reason to use it against her. The phone unlocked instantly. And within seconds I was inside her messages. That's when I found him. Ethan. Ethan. Can still taste you on my lips, baby. Julia. Asterisk, I can still feel you inside me. I'm so sore asterisk. Ethan. Love knowing you're going home to your husband with my marks all over you. I clenched my jaw, my hands gripping the phone so tightly my knuckles went white. I scrolled further. Ethan. Think he suspects anything? Julia. Asterisk please. Michael is clueless. He works, he pays, he doesn't ask questions. He's the perfect husband. Asterisk. Ethan. And I'm the perfect FCK. Asterisk. Julia. Exactly. My pulse roared in my ears. They were mocking me. They weren't just betraying me in secret. They were laughing about it. Julia, the woman I had given everything to, had never spoken about me with this much passion. But here she was, treating me like some pathetic fool, while she spread her legs for another man. I inhaled slowly, forcing myself to stay calm, because now I had everything I needed. Now it was my turn to play the game. Over the next few days I worked silently. I pulled our financial records, tracking every charge. Luxury hotels, designer gifts, dinners I never attended. I installed hidden cameras in the house, not to catch them in the act, but to watch her crumble when I tore her world apart. I quietly transferred our joint savings into an account under my name only, froze her credit cards, made sure she would wake up one morning with nothing but the consequences of her choices. And then, I planned the moment she would be exposed in front of everyone who mattered to her. Julia thought I was her clueless, obedient husband. She had no idea that I was about to become her greatest nightmare. Julia still had no idea. She still kissed me goodbye in the mornings, still sent casual messages throughout the day, still played the role of the devoted wife. But the illusion was already collapsing. I had frozen her credit cards, transferred our savings into my name, and by the time I was done, she wouldn't just lose me, she would lose everything. 2 days after I discovered the truth, I got a notification. A failed transaction. Julia had tried to make a luxury purchase, a handbag, one of her impulsive buys. Declined. Minutes later, another one. Declined. And then my phone rang. Julia's name flashed across the screen. I let it ring. Then it rang again. And again. By the 4th time, I picked up, keeping my voice calm, controlled. Something wrong, darling? Her voice was tight, controlled frustration just beneath the surface. Michael, there's something wrong with my cards. They're not working. I leaned back in my chair, smirking. Strange. I'll check with the bank. A pause. Then, can you transfer some money to my account? I need to pick up a few things. I clenched my jaw, knowing exactly what those things were. Gifts for Ethan. A hotel room. Lingerie for another man. I exhaled slowly. Of course, love. I'll take care of it later. She sighed in relief. Thanks, baby. Love you. I smiled to myself. She had no idea she was already drowning, and I was about to pull her under completely. That night, I checked the hidden cameras I had placed in the house, and I saw it. Julia, sitting on the couch, scrolling through her phone. Then she called him. Ethan. Her voice softened, turning into the version of her I hadn't seen in years. Asterisk, hey baby. Asterisk. My fists clenched. Asterisk, no, he doesn't suspect a thing. Asterisk, she laughed softly, curling her legs beneath her. Asterisk, he even said he'd transfer me more money soon. Asterisk. Ethan chuckled on the other end. Asterisk. You really have him wrapped around your finger, huh? Asterisk. Julia smirked, twirling her hair. Asterisk, he's a good provider, but that's all he is. You, though, you're different. Asterisk. Different. Better. A real man. That's what she meant. My stomach twisted, but I kept watching. I can't wait to see you again, Ethan murmured. Asterisk. This weekend. Asterisk. Asterisk, of course. Asterisk, her voice dripped with desire. Asterisk, book the hotel, and I'll take care of the lingerie. Asterisk. A pause. Then she giggled. Asterisk. Maybe I'll even let you film this time. Asterisk. That was it. The final proof. She was his toy. Not just cheating. Not just lying. She was completely his. and she thought I was too weak to see it. I inhaled sharply, my rage cold and controlled. She wanted to put on a show? Fine. Because soon I was going to give her the biggest audience of her life. I backed up the footage. Every word, every smirk, every humiliating little detail. Then I called her parents, her closest friends, even some of her co-workers. I invited them all to a special dinner at our house this weekend. Julia thought she was going to meet Ethan in a hotel. Instead, she was going to face the biggest humiliation of her life, right there in our home, with everyone watching. And when the moment was right, I was going to press play on her own words and watch her burn. Julia still had no idea. She moved through the house like a woman who thought she was untouchable. She hummed as she did her makeup, texting on her phone. Probably him. She kissed my cheek in the morning, not knowing that I had already destroyed her. The invitations had been sent. Her parents, her friends, even her co-workers, everyone she wanted to impress. They all thought they were coming to a celebration. Instead, they were coming to witness her execution. That afternoon, I got a call from the bank. Mr. Carter, we've noticed multiple failed attempts to use your wife's credit cards. Would you like us to unblock them? I smiled.
No.
Keep them frozen. I imagined Julia standing in a store, confused, humiliated, trying to swipe a card that would never work again, trying to buy gifts for her lover with money she would never see again. She had taken from me for years. Now, she had nothing. Julia came home late. Her makeup was smudged, her perfume heavy, like she had tried to cover something up. She wrapped her arms around me, resting her head on my chest. Long day, she sighed. I forced myself not to recoil. I missed you. Liar. I ran a hand through her hair, playing the part. Because tomorrow, she wouldn't just be caught. She would be completely ruined. The next morning, Julia woke up excited. She still thought this was an anniversary dinner. Still thought she had control over me. I made reservations for us after the dinner, she said, sipping her coffee. Just the two of us. I smiled. That sounds perfect. She beamed. She had no idea. By the time the night ended, she wouldn't even have a home to come back to. By evening, the house was full. Her parents, her closest friends, even some of her co-workers filled the dining room, sipping wine, laughing, oblivious. Julia glowed, basking in the attention, playing the role of the perfect wife. She sat beside me, running a hand over mine. I love you, baby. I smirked. Then you're going to love what I have planned. She had no idea that, in just a few minutes, her entire life would be over. The dining room was alive with laughter, conversation, and the soft clinking of glasses. Julia was in her element, smiling, glowing, confident. She had no idea she was already standing on the edge of a cliff. I watched her carefully, the way she charmed her guests, the way she held my hand in front of everyone like she was the devoted wife, like she wasn't spending her nights wrapped around another man. It was almost impressive, her performance. But tonight, the curtain was about to fall. Halfway through dinner, Julia leaned in close, whispering, this night is perfect. You always know how to make me feel special. I smiled. Of course, love. That's why I have a surprise for you. Her eyes lit up. She loved surprises, especially when they were expensive. She thought I was about to spoil her. She had no idea I was about to expose her. I stood up, tapping my glass for attention. The room fell silent. Before we finished dinner, I wanted to do something special for Julia. I turned to her, my smile unwavering, to show everyone just how much she means to me. Julia's cheeks flushed with excitement. She had no clue that, in a few seconds, that excitement would turn into horror. I pulled out my phone, tapped the screen, and cast the video onto the giant TV in the dining room. The screen flickered. Then, Julia's face appeared. Her moans filled the room. Loud, shameless. The air shifted. Chairs scraped against the floor as people leaned forward, confused at first, then shocked into silence. Because on the screen, Julia wasn't just talking. She was gasping, begging, clawing at Ethan's back as he took her against a hotel wall. Asterisk. Oh God. Ethan, harder. Don't stop. Asterisk. Someone gasped loudly. Julia's mother covered her mouth, her face going pale. Her best friend stiffened in her seat, her wine glass trembling in her hand. Julia sat frozen, her face draining of all color, her breathing ragged. I turned to her, watching her entire world collapse in real time. She opened her mouth, probably to lie, to beg, to spin this into something else. But I wasn't done. I tapped the screen again. The next video played. This time it was a phone call. Asterisk. Think he suspects anything? Asterisk. Ethan's voice came through crystal clear. Julia giggled. Asterisk, please. Michael is clueless. He works, he pays, he doesn't ask questions. He's the perfect husband. Asterisk. Another sharp inhale from the guests. Julia's father's hands curled into fists. Her best friend shook her head in disgust. The weight of judgment fell on her from every direction. And for the first time in her entire life, Julia had nothing to say. Her hands shook as she turned to me. Michael, please, I can explain. I laughed. Actually laughed. Loud. Cold. Unforgiving. Explain. I tilted my head, watching her crumble. Explain how you were in a hotel last night while I was home, waiting for you? Explain how you called me a clueless provider while you spread your legs for another man. Tears filled her eyes. It was a mistake. I cut her off. It wasn't a mistake, Julia. I gestured to the screen. This is who you are. She broke then. The mask fell. Her breath hitched, her body trembling. Her perfect little world shattered beyond repair. And I wasn't done. I turned back to the guests, addressing them as if she wasn't even in the room anymore. I've already taken care of everything, I said smoothly. Her father looked at me sharply. What do you mean? I smiled. I froze all our accounts, transferred everything into my name. Julia doesn't have a single dollar that belongs to me anymore. A loud gasp from her mother. Julia let out a choked sob. Michael, please, I have nothing. That's the point, I said, voice calm. You have nothing. Her best friend stood abruptly, shaking her head in disgust. Her father's face was red with shame and fury, unable to even look at her. Her co-workers muttered among themselves, their gazes cold. She wasn't just exposed. She was ruined. Everything she had built, her reputation, her security, her comfortable life, gone. I stepped closer to her, my voice dropping low so that only she could hear. You're going to leave tonight, I said. Pack a bag. Get out of my house. She shook her head, panicking. Michael, please. I leaned in, my lips curling into a cruel smirk. Maybe Ethan will take care of you now, I whispered. But considering he just lost his job, I doubt he can afford you. Her face crumbled completely, her last hope gone. I stepped back, letting the weight of everything I had done settle onto her shoulders. Then I turned to the guests, smiling. Enjoy the rest of your evening, I said smoothly. Dinner is still being served. And with that, I walked away, without looking back, because she was already nothing to me. I left Julia standing there, humiliated, shaking, drowning in the wreckage of her own making. The whispers of the guests filled the air, a mixture of disgust, pity, and quiet satisfaction. Her father wouldn't look at her. Her mother sat frozen in shock, as if the daughter she had loved had never existed. Her friends? Some of them had already distanced themselves, pushing their chairs back like they didn't want to be associated with her anymore. Julia turned to me, her eyes wild, desperate. Asterisk, Michael, please, just let me explain. Asterisk. I laughed, loud enough that a few people flinched. Explain. I tilted my head, watching her crumble. You mean you want to lie some more? Like you did in our bed, in our home, in front of everyone who thought they knew you? She shook her head violently, tears spilling down her cheeks. Asterisk. I'll fix this. I swear. Asterisk. I cut her off with a simple, cold truth. You don't live here anymore. Her breath hitched. Reality crashed down on her. You have 1 hour to pack your things and leave, I said. Her lips trembled. Where am I supposed to go? I smirked. Maybe Ethan will take you in. A broken sob escaped her lips. She knew. Ethan had nothing left. He was just as ruined as she was. The moment the dinner ended, the calls started coming in. From Ethan's company. From his wife. I sat back in my chair, watching the destruction unfold. His wife had already filed for divorce. His boss had fired him. The emails from clients were rolling in. No one wanted to work with him anymore. His reputation was in the gutter, his career completely destroyed. I could almost hear the panic in his voice through the recorded voicemails he left Julia. Baby, I need to talk to you. I lost my job. Claire is throwing me out. Julia. Where the hell are you? I thought we were in this together. I listened to each one, smirking. Ethan had thought he won. Now, he had nothing left. An hour later, Julia stood at the door, a small suitcase in hand. Her once perfect hair was a mess, her dress wrinkled, her face blotchy from crying. She looked nothing like the woman who had strutted into our home just hours ago, certain that she had everything under control. She looked like a woman who had lost everything. And she had. She turned to me one last time. Michael, please. I don't love him. I made a mistake. I exhaled slowly, savoring the moment. Then I leaned in, whispering the final words she would ever hear from me. You weren't worth keeping. Her body shuddered. The last shred of hope in her eyes died. I stepped back and opened the door. Get out. She hesitated. Then, slowly, she stepped over the threshold. Into a world where she had no money, no security, no future. And as she turned back one last time, hoping I'd change my mind, I shut the door in her face. Forever. #the first night without her. I stood in the empty house, listening to the silence. It wasn't lonely. It was liberating. For years, I had given Julia my devotion, my trust, my everything. She had thrown it away. Now, she was the one left with nothing. I poured myself a drink, staring out at the city lights. Tomorrow I would start over. But tonight, I would let the silence remind me of one simple truth. I had survived. And I was never looking back. The house was silent. For the first time in over a decade, I wasn't waiting for Julia to come home. Wasn't wondering where she was, who she was with. She was gone. And yet, as I stood there in the dim light of our living room, a glass of whiskey in my hand, I felt something I hadn't expected. Not regret, not sorrow, emptiness. Not because I missed her, but because for the past few months, my life had revolved around her betrayal. And now, that chapter was closed. So what the hell came next? The messages started rolling in the next morning. Julia's best friend. What the hell, Michael? She's completely destroyed. Her mother. She's still my daughter. Are you really leaving her with nothing? Her father. You did what you had to do. I won't defend her. I ignored them all, except for one. Claire, Ethan's wife. Meet me for a drink tonight. We need to talk. I smirked. Now this was interesting. Claire was already at the bar when I arrived. She looked different from the last time I'd seen her. Sharper, more confident, like a woman who had been through hell and come out stronger. She slid a whiskey toward me. Thought you might need this. I chuckled, taking a sip. I take it you've had an eventful few days? She smirked. Ethan's living in a motel. He tried calling me last night, begging. I raised an eyebrow. And, she shrugged. And I blocked his number. I let out a low laugh. Smart woman. She clinked her glass against mine. We both got played, Michael. But we both won in the end. I looked at her for a long moment. Maybe she was right. Maybe this was what winning felt like. And maybe, just maybe, this was the start of something new. Claire and I sat at the bar, Two people bound by the same betrayal, both of us freed from the weight of those who had deceived us. She looked at me over the rim of her glass, a slow, knowing smile on her lips. "So," she said, swirling the whiskey in her hand. What now? It was a good question. For months, my every move had been about unraveling Julia's lies, exposing her, making her suffer the way she made me suffer. Now that it was over, I should have felt satisfied. And in many ways, I did. But there was something else, too. Something I hadn't expected. Curiosity. About Claire. About what came next. I smirked, taking a sip of my drink. Now. I said. Now. I start living for myself. The next morning, I got a call from an unknown number. I ignored it. Then came a message. "Julia. Michael, please. Just talk to me." I stared at the screen. For a moment I considered deleting it, blocking her. But then I made a different choice. I called back. She answered on the first ring, her breath shaky. "Michael. Thank you for calling." I stayed silent. She sniffled, her voice breaking. "I don't know where to go. My friends won't talk to me. My parents won't take me in." I exhaled slowly. Sounds like a you problem. A soft sob escaped her lips. "I know I deserve this, but I loved you, Michael." I laughed. Actually laughed. "You loved me." My voice was cold. Sharp. "You loved me while you were screwing Ethan in a hotel room? While you called me a clueless provider?" "I was stupid," she whispered. "Please, I don't want to be alone." I leaned back in my chair, staring at the ceiling. Then, in the calmest voice I'd ever used, I said, "Then you should have thought about that before you destroyed everything." And I hung up, blocked her number, for good. That evening, Claire called. "I found something of Ethan's," she said, amusement in her tone. "Something you might enjoy." Oh. I leaned against the counter, intrigued. "His laptop," she said. And let's just say, he had a lot more dirty secrets than just Julia. I grinned. This was going to be fun. Claire sat across from me in her dimly lit apartment. Ethan's laptop open between us. "I wasn't going to check it," she admitted, sipping her wine. But curiosity got the better of me. I smirked. "And?" She turned the screen toward me. And that's when I saw it. More women. Not just Julia. Dozens of messages. Photos. Videos. Ethan hadn't just been screwing my wife. He had been screwing multiple women. Lying to them all. Spinning them the same pathetic fairy tales. "He's a goddamn serial cheater," Claire muttered, shaking her head. I clicked on a folder labeled private. Inside, explicit videos. Ethan with Julia. Ethan with other women. And then one file that caught my attention. A video of him and a woman I recognized immediately. His assistant. From his old job. The same job he had just been fired from. I chuckled. Well. Looks like Ethan was sleeping with his employees. Claire leaned forward. "You thinking what I'm thinking?" I nodded. We weren't done ruining him yet. The next morning I made a call. To Ethan's old employer. "I have something you'll want to see," I told them. And then I sent them the video. It didn't take long. Within hours, Ethan's entire career was blacklisted. Any chance of him finding a job in his field? Gone. He wasn't just unemployed now, he was unemployable. Claire grinned when she got the news. That bastard thought he could screw us over and walk away untouched. I smirked. "Not anymore." She raised her glass. To karma. We clinked glasses, both of us fully satisfied. Ethan had mocked me, called me weak, laughed at me behind my back. And now, he was at rock bottom just like Julia. And I was finally free. That night I got one last email. From Julia. I almost ignored it, but something made me open it. Julia, asterisk I lost everything. I know I deserve it. But I need you to know, I never wanted this to happen. Asterisk. I stared at the words for a long moment. Then I did what I should have done the first time. I deleted it. Blocked her email. For the first time in months, I woke up feeling light. No more waiting for Julia to come home. No more wondering who she was with. No more lies, betrayal, humiliation. She was gone. Ethan was ruined. And I was finally living on my terms. That afternoon, a familiar number flashed across my screen. A number I had blocked. Julia. I let it ring. Then came the voicemail. Asterisk Michael. I know you hate me. I know I deserve it. But please, just talk to me. Asterisk. I deleted it. Then, 5 minutes later, another call. I picked up this time, my voice cold and steady. Asterisk. What do you want? Asterisk. She sniffled. Asterisk. I don't know where to go. I have nothing left. Asterisk. I exhaled slowly, shaking my head. Asterisk. That's not my problem. Asterisk. Asterisk Michael, please. Asterisk her voice cracked. Asterisk. I was stupid. I lost myself. But you were my home. My safe place. And I. Asterisk. You destroyed that. I cut in. Silence. Then, a broken whisper. Asterisk. Is there really no chance for us? Asterisk. I let out a slow, cruel chuckle. Asterisk there was. But you killed it. Asterisk. Then, for the final time I hung up. Blocked her for good. And that was it. Julia was officially dead to me. That evening, Claire and I met at the bar again. She looked radiant. Stronger, freer, unburdened. I felt the same. We sat in comfortable silence for a moment before she smirked. Asterisk. So what now, Michael? Asterisk she asked, swirling her drink. I thought about it. For months, my life had revolved around revenge, exposure, destruction. Now I had nothing holding me back. I met Claire's gaze, a slow smile spreading across my lips. Asterisk now. Asterisk I said. Asterisk now I start living. Asterisk. And for the first time in a long time, I meant it. For the first time in over a decade, I wasn't tied to someone else's lies. I wasn't checking my phone for excuses. Wasn't waiting for a wife who had already abandoned me long before I found out. I was free, and it felt damn good. A few days later, I heard from an unexpected source, her father. He called, voice heavy with disappointment. Asterisk Michael. Julia's struggling. Asterisk. I stayed silent. Asterisk. She has no job. No money. Her friends won't talk to her. I don't even know where she's staying. Asterisk. A month ago I might have felt pity. Now, I felt nothing. She made her choice, I said simply. He sighed. I know, and I'm not asking you to take her back. But, do you really have to leave her with nothing? I chuckled darkly. I didn't leave her with nothing. She threw it all away. Silence. Then, a soft, defeated whisper. Asterisk. I guess you're right. Asterisk. Damn right I was. Later that night, as I sat in my apartment, I realized something. This was the first night in years where I wasn't thinking about Julia. Wasn't angry. Wasn't plotting. I had won. And now it was time to move forward. That's when my phone buzzed. Claire. Drinks tomorrow? I smirked, typing back. Asterisk. Looking forward to it. Asterisk. The past was dead. Julia was nothing more than a lesson learned. A ghost with nowhere left to haunt. Ethan was ruined, his career and reputation destroyed beyond repair. For the first time in my life, I wasn't living for someone else's happiness. I was living for me, and it felt damn good. One evening, I got one final email. From Julia. I almost ignored it, but curiosity won. I opened it. Julia. Asterisk I know you'll never forgive me. I don't expect you to. But I just needed you to know. I regret everything. Asterisk. I stared at the screen for a long moment. Then, without hesitation, I deleted it, blocked her email, and just like that, she was truly gone from my life forever. That night, I met Claire for drinks. She looked confident, radiant, like a woman who had been through hell and come out stronger. To the people who thought they could break us, she said, raising her glass. I smirked, clinking mine against hers. Asterisk to moving the hell on. Asterisk. As I took that first sip, something settled inside me. Peace. For the first time in years, I wasn't angry, wasn't bitter. I was just free. And the future? It was finally mine.